It's hard enough dealing with this pandemic, and if you're in the performance business, new challenges because you can't do any concerts anymore. The Hunter Brothers, very popular band from Saskatchewan, certainly know all about that. There are 5 members of the Hunter Brothers. We're joined by 2 of them, Ty and JJ. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you doing today? It's so good to see you.
It's really good to see you as well. And thank you for talking with me today about these strange times we live in. Tell me, what has it been like for you guys not being able to perform in front of your fans the way you're used to?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a completely different year. I think the easiest way for me to explain it is just it feels like part of your identity has been peeled back for, 8 months. And so it certainly has been a very, very different time for all performers. I think one of the most beautiful places to be is when you finally get to go on stage and sing the lyrics with, everybody who's been listening. And so to not have that for this long of a time frame, it certainly starts settling in. And I know for me personally, I've been getting a little bit anxious just with not being able to do that. We've all just had to adjust to the times. It's a lot of virtual content, but we're hanging in there. We're thankful that we've been able to spend a lot of family time in this season as well, and that's been one of the silver linings of it all.
I talk about being anxious, not being in front of the fans. What do you mean by that?
I think it's just that feeling of being in a group of people where you experience community, and specifically with music. I think that's something that ties us together. It's something that heals. It's an experience that is very unique when a group of people come together and sing shared lyrics and have a shared experience. And I think it's, for me personally, I think it's one of the most beautiful things to experience. And so to not have that for a period of time I think it just changes a lot of things. It changes a lot of complexion. And I think, just not being able to perform when it feels like that's what you're wired to do, all of a sudden you're a little bit aimless in terms of direction because you're not doing that all of a sudden. And so that's what I mean when I say that it peels off a layer of your identity, and then you have to figure out how to adapt and shift and change.
And brother,
And I think if I can add to that.
Sure, go ahead.
What's that, sorry? Yeah, I was going to say that, we're 5 brothers in the band, and though we grew up, same upbringing, we grew up in the house across from our studio where we're at here right now. There's 5 different personalities. There's 5 different specific sets of ideas, and though we are connected through them, I think each one of us are slightly different. And as the oldest brother, watching my youngest brother, Ty, who's our front man, walk through this year where Ty's always been, we've shared this story at different times that we have pictures of us performing as a family because that's how we started. And Mom was pregnant with Ty. And so he was born into this performing and this entertaining. And so, and we've always known that Ty was our front man, that he was the guy that was going to carry our shows. And I think for him, knowing that this is something that was such a part of his life all the way growing up, something that he was, as he kind of mentioned, born to do, to not be able to do that, we all miss it terribly. But I think Ty, even over and above the rest of us, we've really seen that piece of who he is and what he loves and how he loves to connect with people really change this year.
Yeah, and it was really nice to watch you performing in the Sim Grey Cup halftime show, which got a lot of positive response, but you could just see that energy. It's kind of like you could tell you really missed that performance part. So it was really nice to see that, and that energy came across on my little iPad, believe it or not. I want to ask you, though, how you're dealing with this now. Like, what are you doing to connect with your fans?
Well, I think there's all different things that are going on right now. I think everybody's trying to find those unique ways to connect with your fans, with your family that's out there. It's always different, through a screen, but that's part of the reality that we live in nowadays. And so I think there's virtual means, there's performances, there's been a lot of radio broadcasts and interviews and TV slots and all, that type of thing. And with there being a lot of different platforms, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's all of these platforms that can allow for you to at least connect in a number of ways, whether that's messaging back and forth, whether that's maybe releasing songs that you didn't anticipate releasing, but felt that the time was right. We had a song earlier on this year called Just Wanted You to Know that we actually wrote in Nashville in February, and we got home and the tornado touched down in Nashville, and then COVID happened, and we just said, I think we got to put this song out. It was never intended to be a single or a song that we were planning on releasing anytime soon, but the words, we just felt really connected with what we were going through and what we felt maybe people could relate with. And so then there's been a lot of messages back and forth between our fans and us, and just connecting through those lyrics, and just, touching base on what people have been experiencing this year. And then we released a single called Hard Dirt. And, in the same type of vein, it talks about struggle making us stronger. And, who can't relate with that this year? So I think it's just been an opportunity for us to relate through common struggle, and hopefully just, see hope on the other side of things. Even though it can seem dark at times, there's definitely lots to focus in on that is positive.
I saw that video on your webpage, Hard Dirt, and I encourage folks to go on the Hunter Brothers webpage to see that and all the other great works that you continue to produce. Speaking of producing works, JJ, you don't do the Nashville trips anymore, so you've made accommodations on the farm. Tell me about the studio you're in right now.
Yeah, the interesting thing was that we had plans to build a studio right here before COVID hit, or before we knew that our travel was going to be limited. So it was really neat how it all worked out. We're actually in an old shop on the farm that we used to do our mechanic work in, and we built a new shop, and this one was something that we had started to use a bit as a rehearsal space, but we had oil cans and hoists and all things in here.
It was a
And
mess.
So, yeah, it was pretty disastrous. And so what we did is we started cleaning it up, and we went to work, and it was insulated. We painted it. We cleaned all the mess out of it. We built it into our rehearsal space. But one of the things that we felt that we were always missing is that we love our time in Nashville. It's such a creative space, and there's so many great musicians and creative minds that are there. We loved our time there, but often you go down, you'd record, or you'd write, or you'd have demos or whatever that was. We'd get home and we'd say, man, I wish we would have sung that differently, or man, what if we changed this, or we could have done this. And so what we started doing was coming up with an idea to build a studio where we could record, where we could have a creative space here on the farm. And then the amazing thing with the way technology is today is you record something here, I can send it to Nashville or to Toronto or to Vancouver or to LA just as easy as they can within that city. And so it really gives us a flexibility that we never had before, and it's something that we've really enjoyed. The production is such an art form in and of itself, but the really neat thing is sometimes when you're in a studio, there's that pressure to get a song done quickly, or to perform it to the best of your abilities. And as an artist, sometimes your voice just isn't there that day, or it's that you can have a better performance. And what this space has created for us is just an area where we can go in, and if today wasn't the best day, great, we can go in tomorrow. And it also gives a comfortability where we can really work a vocal, and some of our the most creative things we've come up with, and I've even seen it with Ty. There's a couple of songs that we've recorded. The one we did late at night, and he was in the moment, and we left feeling, and he sent me a text, or he called me, I can't remember, and he just said, that felt good. That felt like I was there in the moment. And having the space to be able to do it has been a real blessing for us, and something that we've used far more than we ever imagined.
Wow.
When we had the plans to build it.
Well, that's just great to hear. And I want to ask you, though, I mean, obviously you're always inspired to do more music, trying to connect with your fans. What keeps you busy on the farm these days?
Well, that's when things got shut down and our shows started getting canceled for the summer, though we had a lot of music stuff to take care of, we were thankful to have the farm, and so we dug in here. And the farming has always been part of our lives. We grew up here. There's never been a year where I haven't been here for seeding and harvest, and same with the other guys. And so it's something that's part of our heritage and who we are, and we love it, because when we're singing country music, when we're talking about being born and raised, and those songs songs really have a practical application for us because that's what we're living. We grew up listening to country music radio and on the tractors out in the field, and so that's a real part of who we are. And so it wasn't abnormal for us to dig in a real way on the farm. It was weird because we were projecting and expecting to have all these shows and whatnot. But we spent a lot more time working on the farm than we had the last couple of years. And that's good too. We love the farm, and there's aspects of it that are really healing. And every year when we get out on the tractors, it's a space for me anyway, and I don't want to speak for all the other guys, but it is a space where you can really just contemplate life and what's going on, and I think it does also at times create a creative space. One of the things that launched our career, Ty's a creative mind and maybe doesn't like being in a tractor quite as much as some of the other guys, but you put a creative mind in a 4x4 box for that many hours, and you start coming up with some pretty neat material, and that's where some of our content has stemmed from.
You know what, JJ? The young ones are always the rebellious ones anyway. So
we're the crazies. We're the crazies.
Yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, listen, I want to thank you both so much for sharing your time with us, giving us an update. You have so many fans out there. We're going to play one of your songs at the end of the show as well. It's a Christmas tune, Joy to the World. And but in the meantime, you also have a concert coming up, which we're going to show fans how they can connect to that as well. So wishing you all the best and the best of the season to you and your brothers and family.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time today, and to everybody listening in, thank you for your ongoing support in this season. We really appreciate every stream and every view and opportunity to connect with you. So thank you so much, and hopefully we'll get to see everybody very soon in person.
Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.